There are two very fundamental concepts in finance that determine what your money is actually worth. The first concept is the idea that every dollar you have today is worth more than it ever will be in the future. So this principle is rooted in the fact that money has earning potential over time. Think about it. Let's say you stash money in a high-yield savings account and you get paid interest on it because it's sitting there. You need that money to be sitting in the account to accrue that interest. So the longer it's in there, the more you make. On the flip side, let's say your friend owes you $1,000 and you tell them, it's cool, you can pay me back in 3 months instead of right now. You're gonna miss out on 3 months of potential interest if you had collected the money and put it in your account instead. But the key point here is it only matters if the money that you have today is actually put in the right places where you can get a return on your money. So this concept that money is worth more now today than it is later in the future, it is called the time value of money, or for finance nerds, TVM. So it's a math equation that you don't need to learn, so don't worry about that. You just need to know that your money has more value today because it has potential to grow if it is in your hands today. Now, I said that there were two fundamental financial concepts that determine what your money is worth. The second concept that affects the value of your money is something you're probably familiar with, and that is inflation. Most people understand inflation to mean prices going up, and logistically, that's accurate. When the phenomenon of inflation is happening in our economy, we see numbers or prices for things increase. You go to the grocery store, that number on the register is a lot higher. But what's actually happening, because at the end of the day, numbers are arbitrary. We know this because, currency is different in different places. But what's actually happening is that your money is losing value over time. Inflation erodes your purchasing power. It means the same amount of money, right? That same $100 bill, it's still $100, but in the future, it's gonna buy you fewer goods, fewer services, fewer groceries. So in thinking about these two concepts that help determine what your money is worth, I want you to start thinking of your money in terms of value. Not just thinking about money as this absolute number in your bank account, but thinking of it for its value. For example, a lot of people always talk about becoming millionaires or having $1 million. It seems to be this big round figure that we all want to aspire to. But what would it mean to have $1 million if it cost you $2 million to get a Big Mac at McDonald's, right? And if everyone else in the country had $10 million, what is that $1 million now, right? The dollar figure is relative, but the value isn't. The tricky part is kind of quantifying what that value is. So my argument is that when you understand these concepts of the time value of money and inflation, and you understand how those things can affect the value of your money, I think you will be better equipped to make financial decisions. And the better financial decisions you make over time in your life is just going to mean more wealth in your hands. So let's look at 3 practical examples in your life where you can use your newfound knowledge to your advantage. The first example is in saving versus investing. Believe it or not, some people save too much money. That is, people put too much money into bank accounts, like checking accounts or savings accounts, and they never quite flip the switch to get started with investing. So here's why it matters. If your money is sitting in an account that doesn't give you any interest, so no APY or a very, very low APY, which stands for annual percentage yield. It's the equivalent of your money sitting under a mattress, right? The dollar figure is gonna stay the same, but like we mentioned earlier, you're gonna lose value due to inflation. So yes, it's a good thing if you can learn to save money and hold on to money instead of always spending it, because holding on to money means that you can use it later. But there comes a point where you might be holding on to too much money. The longer you hold on to money where it's not earning any returns, the less that money is worth. So in order to combat the effects of inflation, you actually need to get your money to grow by investing it. And in fact, you'll not only preserve the value of your money so that you can buy the same amount of things in the future as you can today, but if all goes well, you will grow your money and have more value in the future. So how much money is too much in savings? How do you make that determination of how much to save versus how much to invest? Well, that number is gonna depend, right? It's gonna depend on your life and your financial situation. Some common rules of thumb are you're gonna want an emergency fund of some sort. You're gonna wanna set aside any money for big life events or big goals in the foreseeable future. For example, you might not want to invest money you plan to use next year or in the next couple of years if you can't stand to lose it in case the market is down in those next couple of years. So hopefully understanding inflation and its effect on your money and the value of your money makes it clear to you that you should learn about investing, and at some point in life when everything else is in place, you start. If you want to learn more about that, check out my video on how much to save before investing. All right. Moving on, another real life practical scenario where it matters to think of your money in terms of its value is when it comes to managing debt. So for managing debt, generally, if you owe money, paying it off sooner rather than later can save you from accruing more interest, right? The longer you hold on to balances, the more interest you'll be charged, and that can compound over time. It's basically the opposite of investment returns, right? Compound interest is neither good or bad, or it can be good or bad. It just depends on, is it you getting the interest or you paying the interest? So you can think of it like this. If your dollars are sitting in a bank account or under your mattress where you're not getting a return on it, it could be better served if you apply it towards debt. Your money sitting in a bank account with little to no APY means your money is losing value due to inflation. So that sucks. But what sucks more than that is you have money sitting in a bank account and you're losing value due to inflation. And on top of that, because you have outstanding debt, you're losing more and more because your debt is compounding. Your interest will compound and you'll be owing more over time. So the thing is, when it comes to debt, you have to balance the right amount of paying off debt with money that you need right now, both for living expenses and also for preventing more debt, aka your emergency fund. So having an emergency fund and saving for that, I think personally takes priority over like putting all your extra money towards debt. I still think you should pay off your debt and definitely pay all your minimums so you don't mess up your credit, but arguably, slowly getting your emergency fund in place is going to prevent you from taking on more future debt. At the end of the day, it's all a delicate balance, and only you really know how you can balance your limited resources towards these competing goals. Now, another quick real-life application of the time value of money when we're talking about debt is what I mentioned earlier about what happens if someone owes you money. So if you can understand that money is worth more now than it is in the future because you can use it to make more money, that should help you realize the benefit of making sure you get paid back sooner than later, right? Don't let people hold on to your money. You can do more with that money when it's in your hands. All right, the last example of how to utilize these concepts is financial planning. Understanding the time value of money and also understanding how inflation affects the value of your money. These two things can help you with financial planning. So financial planning is basically a broad term. It covers any goal you have in life that requires money. In a more traditional sense, when you're working with like a financial planner, a professional, it can mean things like planning for your retirement, how much to save towards it, and where to put that money. It can be planning to go to college or sending your kids to college. It can mean planning your estate, aka what happens to your money when you pass away. Financial planning can also cover things like insurance coverage, navigating your employee benefits, and your investments. But in a more casual sense, financial planning is having a sense of what your money actually means, both now and possibly in the future. So for example, a lot of people save money, but by default, they anticipate having to work until age 65 or whatever age they want to start taking their Social Security benefits. The thing is, if you save an indefinite amount of money and you don't actually set goals and understand how much money you need in the future, there's a higher likelihood of failure of your plan to retire. So it's true, we cannot predict inflation rates in the future, and we also can't predict investment returns, but at the very least, we can have better estimated guesses than just saving indefinitely. So in financial planning, when you understand how your money can grow over time in certain investments, yes, you'll be guessing what kind of returns you can have, and you compare that with inflation, and again, we are just guessing here on what inflation is, you can run different scenarios. You can have conservative estimates to see, all right, how much do I need to save if I want to retire by this age? It's all math at the end of the day. Now, this is not math that you have to learn. I am working on my CFP, which is the credential to become a certified financial planner. So this is like the crux of like what we do. We are understanding people's goals, we're understanding their financial situation, and we are giving recommendations on how we can help people reach those goals given the money that they have and will have. So I know this third example is a little harder to grasp, especially if all of these terms are new to you. But I just want you to know that there are ways to understand how much value you have sitting in your bank account. And it's not just a dollar figure that is relevant for today and things you want to buy today, but you can also run projections and estimates for what you might need in the future, how you can possibly grow that money, and how you can possibly combat inflation. Because these really are the key principles that wealthy people use to kind of plan out their wealth and how to build it. So I hope this video helped convince you not to think of your money just as a dollar figure or a number, but in terms of its value. Doing so will help you make smarter financial decisions in the long run. Until next time, peace out.